During Ashley's morning jog through a nature reserve, she encountered a sight that halted her in her tracks. Just beside the trail, a bison came into view. As Ashley stopped, the animal approached, and in a moment of shock, it gently pressed its head against her body. Ashley had never been so close to a bison or any animal before. She cherished her jogs through the nature reserve for the tranquility they offered. As Ashley continued to follow the bison, she marveled at its unusual behavior. Typically, when animals noticed people, they would flee in the opposite direction. This bison, however, seemed intent on leading her somewhere. Despite her initial disbelief, Ashley felt compelled to follow. She ventured off the path, pushing through twigs, branches, and leaves, finding herself surrounded by the dense foliage of the forest. "Where are you taking me?" she wondered aloud, her curiosity piqued. While she followed the bison, she also took out her phone. With only 2 bars of service left, she knew she had to act quickly. Not wanting to lose contact, she shared her location with her boyfriend, Matt, via text, detailing where she had left the path and her current whereabouts. The bison maintained a brisk pace, occasionally pausing to allow Ashley to catch up. As they ventured deeper into the woods, Ashley noticed that dusk was approaching. The sun's descent cast long shadows across the forest floor. Suddenly, the bison came to a halt, causing Ashley to stop abruptly. Taking a deep breath to calm her nerves, she cautiously approached a nearby tree. Perplexed by the bison's actions, Ashley was left with even more questions about their journey. Why had the bison led her here? Before her stood a campsite. No one seemed to be here at the moment. However, the people who resided here hadn't been gone for long. As the ashes of their campfire were still a bit warm, the bison had looked at her almost concerned. As Ashley ventured into the camp, she saw clothes, supplies, and maps scattered around. Something strange was happening here, and she would get to the bottom of it. Among the strewn items, Ashley found a leather-bound journal. Flipping it open, she found the first pages filled with meticulous notes about the nature reserve. The entry spoke of the diverse animals that called the reserve home, their habits and behaviors. The journal's early entries detailed animal migration patterns, showcasing an impressive variety of wildlife. The camper wasn't just a casual visitor, but someone with a profound understanding of the area. This person had spent a significant amount of time here, learning and documenting. The camper appeared to be following a specific route, possibly tracking something. The map and the journal's detailed entries suggested a purposeful exploration. Ashley's curiosity was piqued. What was this person tracking? Why did they leave in such a hurry? The bison's actions were deliberate, guiding Ashley through the campsite. Spurred by the bison's actions, Ashley re-examined the campsite with renewed focus. She discovered a series of footprints that she hadn't noticed before, leading away from the campsite. The discovery of the map pieces and their connection to the journal added a new level of depth to Ashley's quest. The bison moved with a purposeful stride, leading her away from the familiar trails and into the dense thicket of the woods. Ashley followed closely, her eyes scanning the surrounding wilderness, trusting in the animal's instinctual knowledge of the land. The map in her hand was a guide, but the bison was her compass. The forest enveloped Ashley and the bison, a green canopy arching above them. They moved through thick underbrush where sunlight barely touched the ground. Ashley observed the bison that was with her and thought about the fact that he was here alone. She began to hypothesize about its separation from the herd. Perhaps it had been ousted in a struggle for dominance, or maybe it was seeking something lost. The bison's calm demeanor around her suggested a unique story. Turning her attention back to the journal, Ashley came across references to equipment not typically used by wildlife enthusiasts. There were mentions of advanced tracking devices, night vision goggles, and other gear that seemed out of place in a naturalist toolkit. Why would they use this? Ashley asked herself out loud. The shift from a wildlife enthusiast to someone seemingly engaged in more intrusive activities was troubling. Ashley knew she couldn't do this alone. She needed a phone signal. She looked around, assessing her surroundings for higher ground. Finally, Ashley saw a potential spot for better reception. A clearing ahead promised a break from the relentless canopy that blanketed most of the forest. Finally, they reached the clearing. Ashley hurriedly pulled out her phone, her fingers crossed for a signal. She suddenly noticed a flood of text messages, most of them belonging to Matthew. He must be worried sick. Ashley quickly composed a text to Matthew, her boyfriend, her fingers trembling slightly. "I'm still in the nature reserve. I am following a bison. I am calling the cops and will send you a location." Ashley sent the message, her heart racing as she realized everything that had happened. Next, Ashley dialed the local police department. Her voice was steady as she reported her discovery of the abandoned campsite and the odd behavior of the bison. "I believe there might be illegal activities in the reserve," she explained. While waiting for the police, she found cages, ropes, and remnants of makeshift holding areas. Each piece of evidence she found added to the story of exploitation and cruelty hidden within the woods. The journal entries now made horrifying sense. This wasn't just observation, it was active illegal hunting. In the serene quiet of the forest, Ashley was startled by a soft, pained bellowing. Following the sound, she discovered 2 young bison calves ensnared in a trap. Tears welled in Ashley's eyes as she approached them slowly, offering gentle, soothing words. "It will be all right." While rescuers worked to free the calves, Ashley turned to the bison that had guided her. In its eyes, she sensed a profound gratitude. With Ashley's information and evidence from the campsite, the police swiftly identified and located the poacher. Within hours, the individual was apprehended and held accountable for their crimes against wildlife. As Ashley watched the bison rejoin its herd, a profound sense of peace washed over her. The journey she had undertaken had transformed her in ways she could never have anticipated.